What's up, guys? Another live stream here for Hit the Bucks. Coming at you from the snow. Mackie and I are up in the Northeast. We got Huff and Jesse down in Miami, Florida, ready to go for a big Sunday night football matchup as we see Huff out on the balcony in his Miami hotel. We got some 5 good games in the slate here to cover. 2 good games yesterday on Saturday. Texans coming out victorious. Huff Steelers keeping their playoff chances alive with a lot of help needed. But I'm ready to get rolling into the games today. I don't know about you guys. We can roll right into our first one. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Atlanta Falcons in an NFC South divisional matchup. The Atlanta Falcons coming in at +3 on the line, and the over/under sitting at 42, which is a lot for 2 teams who don't like to put touchdowns up on the board. Huff, I'm going to pass it to you first. Let me know what you think about this game between Derek Carr and
I'm on the Saints here. I'll keep it quick. I like the Saints on their home field to cover the number, the -3. I did already lock this one in. You'll see this on my card. I'm on the Saints here to come out, make a push for that NFC South title. Don't love the Bucks to lose today, so I think the Saints are going to come up a little short, but with some love from the Cardinals and a couple other teams, the Saints are still fighting for a playoff spot. Give me the Saints to cover the number today at home.
Yeah, I'm with you here, Huff. This Falcons team just got blown out by the Bears. Aren't playing good football. Don't play good football on the road. Saints are playing for a lot more. Not sure if it's a win-in situation. I don't think it is. I think they still need some help. But the Saints team is fighting for a lot more than this Falcons team. I think they can get the job done at home, cover the 3 points.
Yeah, I think the 3 points will be weird to cover, Mac. We've talked about the Falcons and their weird scores throughout the year. I can see like a 19-17 win, 22-20. So maybe it's worth it to get that money line on the Saints. I know this price is pretty steep at -165. But those Falcons are feisty, especially in a divisional matchup.
This Saints offense, though, has kind of made strides the past couple of weeks since we started to chirp Derek Carr and we started our little conversation. Derek Carr's been starting to put up some numbers, use Olave a little bit. Kamara hasn't been as inconsistent with, obviously, he's still inconsistent getting in the end zone, but the dude's a machine for 8 catches and 50 yards receiving a game. I mean, what he does on the ground, they love, what's the speedy receiver, Shaheed?
Yeah,
he's good for a flash play a game, could be a touchdown. Like, this Saints offense does look a lot different than when we were talking about him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the incorporation.
Yeah, how you guys were talking about Derek Carr, not me. I think I was pretty high on Derek Carr for talking about that. But Juwan Johnson also coming on the scene a lot. He's been getting involved a lot. Every time I think it's Rashid Shaheed, I look over at Juwan Johnson instead. I'm like, man, this guy's getting
That's
touches.
what I said. I was looking at his touchdown odds today, dude. He scores almost every game. Carr's #1 target.
He's been getting involved. I think the Saints are just using a lot more of that offense. They're putting up a lot more points recently. So I like this team now. I think they cover the 3 points today, honestly. I think the Falcons are kind of dead in the water. They don't even know who they're starting at quarterback, I don't think. 2-6 on the road, not going to get the job done. Give me the Saints. Give me Derek Carr to get the job done.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mackie. I love that 2-6 stat. Olave really giving some juice to that offense once he's come back. I think he's able to have a big day once again. Kamara questionable, so if you're doing a DFS or if you're somehow still in the fantasy playoffs, watch out for that. No official prop plays for me. Maybe Olave. I like the Juwan Johnson value play. But diving into our next game here, we have another Southern Divisional matchup, but this time over on the AFC as the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. And the Jaguars are coming in at 4.5-point favorites. This is with Trevor Lawrence being listed as questionable. They're keeping hope that he can get the start this week so we don't see C.J. Beathard under center again. I like the Jaguars here at the -205. I don't think the Titans can cover +4.5, but I'm going to pass it over to Mackie here. I know on the pod earlier this week, some of us were and we might lean with those Titans points with Mike Vrabel, the way he coaches up his boys. So eager to hear what you guys have on this one.
Oh, yeah. I think Mike Vrabel is going to be fighting for his life here. Have these Titans fighting for their lives. I know they're not playing for anything. They're sitting at 5-11, but you know how bad they want to play spoiler to these Jaguars who came into the season with highest expectations out of anyone in this division. Now they could sit here with the Texans winning last night. They can lose this division and basically be kicked out of a playoff spot. The Titans want to play that role. They want to be there for that. That being said, I think the Jags get it done. I think it's going to be a close one. I think the 4 points is a little too much. But I just think last week, 26-0 win over the Panthers kind of let the league know that they're still right there. They're not that falling off. They're 1-4 in their last 5, but they are still a decent playoff team. And I think if Trevor Lawrence is healthy and he does play, then he'll get the job done, at least to get the win. Not going to say he's going to cover the 4 points, though.
Yeah, Huff, before you jump in here, let me go with my take here in this game. I think that with Trevor Lawrence in the mix, even if it's Beathard, I like them in this matchup. You want to know why? Because of that playoff caliber defense the Jacksonville Jaguars possess. posting a shutout last week in a much-needed victory. I think they're able to do the same thing to a Titans offense that has been weak throughout the year. Derrick Henry not looking like himself. I think he's going to need a summer to get back to going. Personally, I'm looking at Travis Etienne to find the end zone against a weak run defense. They're going to lean on him a lot, regardless of who's under center this week. Evan Engram jumping onto the scene as a huge receiver, putting up big numbers in the second half of the season is another prop to look at on those receptions or on his anytime touchdown. And I also like what Calvin Ridley's been doing. But I'm going to ride that defense home, and I'm going to take them covering the spread here this week.
I love that Etienne play.
Yeah, obviously, I love the Etienne's an automatic touchdown play. He's more consistent than most of the guys. They love to feed him into that offense when they get down near the goal line. Definitely a good play there. You made the points about the Jaguars' defense. Josh Allen has been having an absolute tear of a season, doing great for that Jaguars' defense leading the way. They have obviously a bunch of great defensive backs, but I am on the Titans here, kind of for the reasons that Mackie said. I think there's a lot of unwritten kind of things on the wall right here for this game for the Titans in this spot. Like you said, divisional matchup. Kick the division favorite out of the playoffs possibly if you win this game. It's Vrabel, Tannehill. This could be Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan. I think there's a lot going for Tennessee today at home. I think they keep it close. I don't know if they win the game, but I think they keep it close. They could lose this game by a field goal.
I think it would be the funniest thing ever if the Titans come in and win this football game. Mike Vrabel's going to have his boys going. You already know that. I think Ryan Tannehill could have a good game today too. I know you saw Ace. You talked about that Jags defense. Obviously, shut down Bryce Young last week. We know how the Panthers are. We know that they've struggled to put up points. I think we could see a scenario where Ryan Tannehill kind of slings the football today. I think Mike Vrabel's going to give him the opportunity to just air it out, see what he could do.
There's a D-Hop incentive stat that I saw. It's like he needs like 7 catches or 78 yards, and like that's probably what both of his receptions and yards total are set at.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I like Tannehill too to keep it at least competitive. I do think the Jaguars win on the money line here. Don't know if I'm going to play that 4.5 weird spread. If I could get to 3, I'd like it a lot more. Tannehill,
I hate
veteran.
-4.5. That's the worst spread to take.
Yeah, Tannehill, veteran quarterback. He's able to get things going, especially with that play action. We've seen this team go to the playoffs with those guys under center. But, Mackie, good point with Derrick Henry's last game. Could be Mike Vrabel's last game as his contract expires. Could be Tannehill's last game. A lot of lasts here. I'm just not confident in that Titans defense to be able to hold them down. But I think this should be a good divisional matchup here in the AFC South as the Jaguars look to claim the division with a win. Steelers need that Jaguars loss. If not, it's on the Sunday Night Football, and Huff's going to be rooting on Tua and the boys heavily. But jumping into our third game here, pretty interesting one is the Chicago Bears, another divisional matchup, take on the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. And this is a 3-point spread for Jordan Love and the boys as they look to win and get into the playoffs. And the Bears look to play spoiler as Justin Fields is really honing in on his season and keeping his job for next year. The fans giving us a lot of, we want Fields, keep Justin Fields around as he's been stringing together a few wins. They're coming at plus 132 on the money line. I like that one a lot. Love this underdog play for the Chicago Bears, a team that's been hot. Who would have thought we'd be saying that? But the Green Bay Packers, young quarterback, another phenom first rounder looking to get back to the playoffs. Huff, let me know what you got on this one.
Yeah, I like the Bears here. This is another one. I'll keep it short. I think they go into Lambeau. Ace, I said it this week in the pod. Last year, the Lions versus Packers. Lions kicked the Packers out of the playoffs. I think a similar situation happens where a Bears team that doesn't have much to play for, that obviously is looking for next year, but this is a game where you're building for next year. Obviously, everyone says that with the losing teams. I think, like you said, they want Fields under center, at least the city does. I think they're going to stick with Fields. I think he has a big game today up in Lambeau with his legs. I like the Bears to cover the number and possibly I think they could win the game. I know it's only a 3-point spread, but I like the Bears on the money line as well.
That's crazy because you guys know who you're talking about, right? You're talking about the Bears going into Lambeau Field and kicking the Packers out of the playoffs.
Packers had an all-time high spot last week. They kicked the Vikings' ass on Sunday Night Football. Love the Packers in that game. I'm going against them this week at home. It's tough. That defense isn't that good. They're getting Jair Alexander back. I don't know if that's actually a good thing. Like, he's not you know what I mean? I feel like he's not the best locker room guy. They played pretty good last week without him. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers here to get the job done. I think it's going to be really close. I think Justin Fields is going to be playing for a lot here. He knows what's at stake. He knows what the quarterback's coming in. They have the first overall pick. I think it's a huge game for him, a statement game for him to – I mean, this is a huge game for the Bears, their organization. They obviously want to kick the Packers out of the playoffs. If Justin Fields can get the job done, I think he's their guy. But I think regardless, he has a good game. I think there's a lot of points in this game. We've seen the Packers defense get lit up left and right. We know this Bears defense can get lit up left and right. Jordan Love's been putting up points too. I mean, last game, stellar game, Sunday Night Football against the Vikings. Minimal mistakes at all. I think the Packers get it done. I think they're the better team. They're at home. We know what happens when the Bears go into Lambeau. History repeats itself. Give me Jordan Love and the Packers to cover the 3 points.
Is there a record of that? Is there a record that I don't know about?
I'm pretty sure the Bears haven't won in Lambeau in like 20 years.
No Aaron Rodgers.
They've never gone in and beat Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers has been there since what, 07?
Yeah, but their father has gone away, so maybe it's time for the kids to take over. And the Chicago Bears the last few weeks have been possessing what a lot of us were excited about coming into the season. Those big free agency and trade signings coming into that defense has really shown big time. That plethora of running backs between Herbert, Roschon Johnson, Donta Foreman has really been stepping up. And Justin Fields and DJ Moore is a legit connection. I expect a big game out of 2 with the wide receiver slot as he got snubbed out of the Pro Bowl this year. I expect him to get in the end zone and have a big day on the receptions prop. Burnt me a couple weeks ago, but that was due to an injury. I think Fields also finds the end zone. Mackie, I like your play of the over here. I think there's a good little shootout here in Lambeau Field. I see a 24-21 Bears win. That's not that many points, but I think that's enough to put it on the over this week.
The over that puts it at 45. The over is 45.5.
Oh,
so it's
wow,
right there.
All right, so that
right
you know
there.
what I'm doing is not touching that over underline, but I do like the Bears on the money line here. Maybe if you tease the Bears and the Titans, that's something Huff would be looking into potentially. But a lot of good stuff coming out of that game. We have one more 4:00 matchup here. Another playoff implication: the Seattle Seahawks need to win to get in, and they're taking on the Arizona Cardinals. NFC West divisional matchup in Arizona. Kyler Murray and the boys coming off of a massive win in Philadelphia, helping out Dallas Cowboys fan Michael Mackey. Mackey, I know you're probably a big K1 guy right now, probably tuning into the FaZe Clan and whatnot. But yeah, the Seahawks coming in at only -3 seems like a trap, sketchy line there. -104 and that -3. The Cardinals coming at +130 and the over/under sitting at 47.5. I'm on the Seahawks here. I think you guys should both be as well, but let me hear if you're not. If you're on the Cardinals, jump in right now.
Mac,
there's nobody.
I don't have a good read on this game. I've been going back and forth. I kind of am talking myself into the Cardinals to do something at home here, but I just don't think they do. I honestly think the Seahawks come out on top. They need this game. Pete Carroll will get his boys going. I've watched that team enough in the past where he gets them up for big games, and this is one of them. Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker, DK, Smith and Jigba, they'll all be ready to go on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't know if that Cardinals offense is able to keep up.
Yeah, wait, Mac, before you jump in here real quick, shout out to Chance Galucci in the chat. Give me Seattle, Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown. I like that one a lot. Also talking about how many teams not wanting to play, have nothing to play for, but they can knock out a division rival and take them out of the playoffs. I think that's why we were leaning with the Bears there. Huff thinking about the points with Vrabel, maybe a win there. But I don't think there's any way that that the Seahawks lose this one. Let me know in the chat if you guys think so. Mackie, come in with your take on this game.
Yeah, I'm biting the trap on this one. It definitely is a sketchy line. You are going in Arizona divisional matchup. Seahawks need to win, 3-point spread. I'm going to say they cover it. I think they get the job done. Geno Smith, I don't think he chokes 2 weeks in a row. I'm not going to say he choked last week, but it was a pretty big game. And they ended up losing to the Steelers. Good game by the Steelers. Good game by Mason Rudolph. He's been playing really good football. But Seahawks need this one. I think Pete Carroll gets the boys ready, gets the job done. I think Kenneth Walker is a huge game. They're going to tear. They're not going against top end defense. They're going against the Arizona Cardinals defense. They don't need to be Picasso. They can just stick to basic football, get the job done. They have the offensive weapons. They can just keep it simple and they'll get the job done. I think Kyler Murray can keep this one close. Obviously, we know what he did against that Eagles defense last week. We know how the Eagles have been the last 5 weeks. I don't think this Cardinals team is all that. You guys have been higher on them all season than I have. I'm going to go with the Seahawks to cover the spread.
I definitely don't think it's as easy. I think.
I think it's a 3-point spread for a reason. I mean, it's a divisional matchup, winning get in situation.
Cardinals will lead at some point in this game.
I don't know. I
think it's really good football.
This game screams over under to me. It screams a lot of points, but then against a divisional matchup with a playoff berth on line, I think the Seahawks don't want to turn the ball over. Geno Smith is great at that. And I think that the Cardinals are going to play tough. They're going to play tough. They're going to be going for it on 4th down, take chances when they have them, which can come back to bite those Seahawks. I think this will be an entertaining game for sure.
I just don't see Pete Carroll sitting at 8-7, losing back-to-back games in 2 very winnable games to finish 8-9, miss the playoffs. I think he's going to give his team a chance here. Exactly.
Too good of a team to miss.
Too good of a team, too good of a coach to lose both these games. I think they get the job done here.
You'll see this game on my card at -3. But jumping into our last game, we got Huff down in Miami. Give us a little action shot of the strip there where you guys are. Look at that. Looking great.
I have too much of a setup here, Johnny. If you saw how rigged I have my iPad standing up, you'd laugh.
Mackie, much better than you and I sitting up in snowy Northeast right now, 6 to 10 inches somewhere, depending on where you are. But this game's line's been shifting all week long, and finally it's ending at -3 as we get to talk about it, with the Dolphins coming in at +124 and the over-under at 48.5, which I think all of America loves. A massive game for the AFC East. The winner gets the AFC East. If you lose and you're the Bills, you're potentially out. If you lose and you're the Dolphins, you're dropping down to a wild card spot, which nobody saw coming all season long as you were being touted as the highest flying team in the AFC. This is going to be a great one. Huff down there in Miami, our Miami correspondents. Let us know what you think about this one.
Yeah, I'm on the Dolphins here. I like Tyreek and Tua to come out and have a big game. Obviously, we saw what happened in Buffalo a couple weeks ago. Buffalo kind of gave them their ass whooping. I like the home team to come out, defend home floor. Obviously, Sunday Night Football, that building's going to be absolutely rocking. I like the Dolphins to come out. I got Tyreek to score first. It's 7-1. Already locked that one in. Got Dolphins to cover the number. I'm all over the Dolphins today. Might have to. I also really like a Tua over passing yards. I saw it sitting right around 250. I think he has a good day. I think the 1 or 2 splash plays. They're saying Waddle may not play, Mostert may not play. I think one or the other play. Obviously, Tyreek's the main guy. Achane had a great game stepping in last week with no Mostert. I love the Dolphins in this spot. I just think it's the home team +3. Give me that all day.
Shout out to our chat here real quick, Mackie. I just want to say Bills are the biggest disappointment of the year if they don't make the playoffs. I don't know. A lot of injuries. I think it's a disappointment.
No.
If the Dolphins lose this game and lose the division, that would be.
Nah, I agree. Bills' biggest disappointment of the season of the year if they don't win this football game. How if the Bills do not make the playoffs? The Bills are supposed to be probably a top 3 team in the league. I know all the hype on the Miami Dolphins. Everyone still thought the Bills were the Bills. They started the season. They were 6-7 halfway through the season. I mean, this is definitely they need to win this football game. They need to get into the playoffs, or it's definitely a disappointing season. But Huff, getting back to Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle, I think they're both out. It says that they're both expected not to suit up. If you can get Raheem Mostert, I think that's way more important than Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's hurt half the season anyway.
Waddle just takes the pressure off of the cheetah, so it's nice.
But they have the players to step in. You have Achane to step in. You know what Tyreek or what Tua can do with all his receivers, especially when you have Tyreek Hill. I'm not worried about either of those guys sitting out. Dolphins are 7-1 at home. We know the Bills are not the best team on the road. They have a losing record on the road this year. I'm going to stick to the basics. I mean, the Dolphins get the job done at home. They beat the Cowboys at home for a reason. I think the Cowboys were the better team in that game, and they still found a way to lose that football game. I don't know if that was Dak. I don't know if that's Miami winning at home, but I'm going to go with Miami winning at home. They're underdogs right now. They're going to get the job done. I think the Bills missed the playoffs this year. I had Miami winning the division to start the season. I'm going to stick with it. Give me Miami money line.
Yeah, I'm the only one that's going to stick with the Buffalo Bills here. One of the hottest teams in the league. They've been ripping off wins left and right. Josh Allen is the second most talented quarterback in the NFL. Doesn't mean he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. Second most talented quarterback in the NFL. And I think it's going to show again this week. He found the end zone twice last week. Chance Galucci right there with you. I think that's my lock of the week is Josh Allen. Anytime touchdown coming in at minus
4 straight weeks.
Yeah, minus 115. And they like giving him the rock. And he's going to have that MVP type of play to be able to give them a win this week down in South Florida. It's a tough place to go play. Look at Huff. He's already looking banged up. I think the Bills are too. Hopefully their defense is rallied up and ready to go in this one. I love the over here. I think both teams are able to put up 28 plus, 3 or 4 touchdowns aside. I think Stephon Diggs really is a big game in the prime time. I'm expecting the better quarterback to step up in the prime time and a well-coached Sean McDermott team to throw some pressure at Tua Tagovailoa. I think the Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert missing is way bigger than people think. I think they need all those options. It's a lot more coverage going to Tyreek Hill. Achane getting a full workload, that's a lot tougher too, especially when it comes to the goal line carries. This is going to be a great Sunday night football game. So happy they flexed this one and going to be competitive all the way throughout. So whichever side you lean, you'll have a chance at some point. It's going to be over on the total. Josh Allen's getting in the end zone. Give me the Bills -3 to backdoor steal this division and make those Dolphins fans cry who thought they were going to be the AFC East.
I think if the Bills win this football game, it's got to stay under. The Bills struggle to put up points on the road. I think that they're going to have to stick to like 20 to 24 points to get the job done, if they can even put up that much.
We saw a playoff game last night on the Saturday night primetime slot. We get to see one on the Sunday night primetime slot as well. Win and you're in, essentially, and this will be a great one.
That was a great one last night too. So hopefully this one, I don't think this one will let us down.
All right, so those are our 5 games on the slate this week. Definitely let us know if you have any other we want to touch on briefly, but we're going to get into our mortal locks right here. You already heard me mention mine. Mine's going to be in that Sunday night football game. I am going with Josh Allen anytime touchdown. I like number 17 to find the end zone this week. Give me that minus 115, minus 120. Shop around, find your best line. Huff, let me know what you got down there in South Florida.
Yeah, I am going to go with the Bears plus the 3 points. That's my favorite play this week up in Lambeau Field. I like the divisional matchup. Come in, steal that division possibly, but cover the number. I like the Bears plus the points.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints -3. I think they get the job done against a weak Falcons team on the road, or Falcons on the road. I think the Saints get it done at home.
I like both those picks, boys. I'll give you one more pick. This is going to be in our parlay piece. It'll probably be Bucks on the money line for our parlay piece because you get 4 legs, but very close to my Josh Allen anytime touchdown was the Bucks -3. I know you'd have to shave some points down for that one. I already locked it in a few days ago. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinched the NFC South this week with a much-needed win over the lowly Carolina Panthers. But that's all we've got. Definitely stay tuned for our plays that will be posted. We have our 14 parlay. We've been ripping that one last week of the regular season. Enjoy Scott Hansen on your TV. You won't get to see him again for another year. We got a lot of great games, a lot of must-win scenarios. Jags, Bills, Bucks, Saints, a lot of Seahawks, a lot of teams that got to win to get in. A lot of meaningless games as too. Cowboys, make sure you take care of business and lock up that NFC East. Nothing really standing in your way except for Jacoby Brissett. So I hope that doesn't come crashing down in your face, Mackie. But great week of football here. Bank that cash. Be ready to roll here. Let's have a good one.
What do you mean, Jacoby Brissett?
Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett, whoever it is.
It's gonna be Sam Howell swinging that football.
Yeah, I bet you Brissett comes in at some point with the way you guys are rolling.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But that's all we got this week. Bank this cash. Let's go. Hit the books. Last week of the regular season.
Peace.
Oh, he's just dipping. I guess we're not doing the oh, there is no Monday night, I guess.
Yeah. All right, I'll catch you, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Later.
See ya.